What's up, everyone? I'm Kaitlin Sharkey. Welcome to Panther HER-Story, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Angela Rodriguez today. Let's talk about the fact that Angela was a four-year starter for the women's basketball team at UW-Milwaukee from 2010 through 2014. She finished 5th on the all-time scoring list. She was named Horizon League Newcomer of the Year and All-Newcomer Team as a freshman after starting 29 of 30 games. And after all of that, she's gone on to play an extensive professional basketball career. So Angela, I'm thrilled to have you today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Let's go back to your time at UW-Milwaukee as a basketball player. What are some of the memories that stand out for you, and what did you like about being a student athlete at UW?
Everything. It's such an honor. It's an honor to have your school paid for. It's an honor for a team to want you. Meeting all of my teammates and them becoming like family, still having friends nowadays that I speak to. Just the experience of being a student athlete is really special because it's really like one in a million. I'm just super thankful again for the opportunity that I had to be a basketball player and to go to school there and get a degree. A lot of people don't get to do that. So I enjoyed my experience, and overall, I'm just really thankful for it.
When you think about your time at UW-Milwaukee, there's so much that is part of being a student athlete. There's being the athlete and being the student. What do you think UW-Milwaukee did well to help you kind of navigate both of those things?
We had really great academic advisors at the time, even the staff. I remember specifically it was Lavessa Glover. She was there at the time, and, they really held you accountable in the classroom. And so it's easy to kind of, steer away from that because I was very focused on my sport. And I wanted to excel in that because I knew I wanted to be a professional basketball player. So in my mind, it was basketball first, which is not really how it's supposed to be. So they really kept me on track into, you have to get good grades in order to play and in order to perform. And, the biggest takeaway from school is getting your degree, especially as a female. Basketball isn't like the NBA, so you don't make that kind of money. So at the end of the day, I am going to have a real job at some point. But they held you accountable, like I said, study tables and just making sure that you got your work done and that it was done the correct way. So I'm super appreciative of them. And they're a big reason why I did graduate, to be honest.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. And I think we're focusing all of this on the fact that Title IX turns 50, their 50th anniversary. And it's done so much, not just for sports, but gender equality as a whole. But when you think about women in sports and women in basketball and the equality that's happened and the equality that still continues to make progress, what do you think about when your time at UW-Milwaukee? What were some of the challenges, and maybe how did you feel that, that equality was already set in place?
Just the fact that we had a women's team to me is a huge deal. I was there when Sandy Botham was there, so she was there for forever. And it seemed like it had really just taken such huge steps from her beginning and her ending there. And then, to see them continue to hire women, I think is also a huge deal. On staff, assistants and head coach. But I think, like you were saying, there are steps that you can still take. Obviously, money is a huge, we could say, issue, but like naturally the men make more because when people come to the game, so it's completely understandable. We could talk about gear. We could talk about what they get, we don't get. But honestly, overall, I thought that they did a great job of, even advertising for our games and getting word out that we were having a game, flyers. I can specifically remember posters being put on the union, and I remember being on one, and it was such an honor because it was me and a men's player. Jordan Aaron was his name at the time, and I just thought it was so cool. To be honest, I don't think twice about it because we do have that opportunity to be on a collegiate women's team when there are also collegiate men's teams. So it's like, I look at it as we are the same. I understand that it's not completely there, like you said, but I thought Milwaukee did a really great job of making sure that we men's and women's teams really had a lot of the same things.
And now as a professional basketball player yourself, that time in college, now as a pro, where do you still want to see the advancements? Where do you still feel that maybe inequality in your day-to-day as a professional basketball player?
I mean, we could probably salary, obviously. But you know what? I think that teams are getting much better at it, being especially, so this is a new league in Mexico that I'm here now. and they treat you like professionals. It's really cool. There's even a team in Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Glow, that I had recently played for, where they grabbed a bunch of Wisconsin girls that are still playing overseas or professionally. And like, wow, I mean, from security to parking, it was just like, you really felt like you were treated like a pro. And what I think people forget is like, we put the same work in. The same work goes in that a men's player puts in or an NBA player. And again, it's just because we don't get the fan base. So the money is a little bit different. But I think that people are starting to be much more aware of it and really treating women's teams professionally. And I can even see a difference overseas. You know, you go to some clubs and you're just treated maybe like as you should be. Because at the end of the day, it's still a job. I know people like to say it's not, it's still a job. It's especially being away from home, it's very difficult. So it's nice to be treated how they've been.
Absolutely. And there's no denying that you are a role model for women in sports and student athletes as they kind of start their journey or are even in the middle of their journey. Who were some of your role models when you were even at UWM, even before that? Who did you look up to when it came to women in sports?
You know, it was, I think a big one was Maya Moore for a bit. You know, just the way that she played. I thought the way that she carried herself on and off the court was really, she just had a way about her. She was cool, to be honest. Kind of reminded me like a woman, Michael Jordan. Yeah. Even Diana Taurasi. I mean, obviously the big names that you always saw. As I get older, it's more so my mom. I know she's not in sports, but the way that she carries herself, who she is as a human being. I want to be like her one day. I hope that I can be. You know, but just powerful women. I think my mom's a super powerful woman, and you know, even my grandmothers and things like that. It's not specifically always in sports because I think that that's just a part of who I am. It's not who I am. So I think I look a little bit more outside of the court rather than inside. Very
cool. And when, to kind of sum this all up, when you think about women in sports as a whole, however that spectrum is, how big it is for you, what is your favorite women in sports memory? Like when you think like this is peak women in sports, what are you thinking about?
That's such a hard question. I've been thinking about this ever since Chris sent me the questions. And I was just like, there's so many, from Simone Biles to Serena Williams. Like it's just like, there's so many powerful women, especially like today. I'm thinking Diana Taurasi, we're still watching. We're watching some of the greats, Elena Delle Donne. And I just think, you know what, to be honest, to be able to play your sport at a professional level, being a woman in 2022, to me is really, really cool. The fact that you get paid to play a sport, I mean, in life, but especially women. I think that, you know, women speaking out, Megan Rapinoe is a big one. And I think that people are starting to hear us more. Again, it's not just about people hearing us, but it's people actually supporting the women and going to the games and being a true fan, if that makes sense.
So well said. Well, Angela, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.